Burrow airs it out. Chase. Hello. Touchdown.
And I got a voice inside that needs to be fed.
Are two of the best historically, just not thus far. Against these receivers.
Making the Junkins again, and there is Smith roaming free, breaks a tackle. Ohio State strikes quickly.
Good evening, everybody. This is Jordan with Ohio Sports Talk. We are back with you live tonight. It's been a little bit since last Thursday. A lot has happened. We have a lot to cover. We have a very structured show. We got some Bowling Green to talk about, a little bit of MAC football. We got the red-hot Cincinnati Reds right now rocking and rolling, even though they were dinged up a little bit last night. FC Cincinnati is on an absolute tear. Cleveland Cavaliers, we got some news. We even got some more news that came across the desk right before we went on the air, so I'll be happy to share that. But, how the hell are we doing, folks? It's 4th of July week going here, so we got a long weekend ahead of us. Definitely excited about that. The independence of our great nation. I will have another individualized show going for that very soon. Maybe this Thursday. Maybe I'll do one Thursday and Friday. We'll see where it takes us. Our producer, Doug, will be a little bit involved. He is back from vacation, doing healthy, happy with the family. A little bit sad they're not in Florida, but hey, wouldn't we all be? But fantastic show tonight. Big-time show. I want to tip my hat to the Red Hot Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Ohio Sports Talk family. Did a live show last night during the game. It wasn't what we expected for Burns, but those guys are absolutely tearing it up. Go check out their content. We have them posted up on our page. They're pinned to our board right now. Share it, retweet it, comment. They're as active as we are on X. So, get in the mix. Talk to Ricky. Talk to the company over there. And those guys love the interactions as much as we do. So, that being said, we're going to dive right into that. Cincinnati Reds are 14-7 in their last 21 games. They've won 6 of their last 7 series. They've been playing some good baseball. We know they got, like I said, Burns got dinged up last night against just a team that was just absolutely on fire for the Red Sox. You can't always help that. It sucks, but definitely, we'll get over it. We'll get better. But, we scored some runs ourselves. Had we not given up such, a big lead in the beginning, I think that game could have went very differently. But, they're back in action tonight. Let's take a little live look in here, what that score is. But, folks, the Reds are real. The Reds they're making me believe. It's 1-2 right now with a rain delay. We'll see where it takes us. It's raining down in Boston. Imagine that. So, but we'll rock and roll it. But it's definitely something that's been super fun to watch. We'll update you live on X tonight when and if that game ever gets concluded. It's not far enough to call it. So whether that be tonight or playing a doubleheader tomorrow during the rubber match, we'll let you guys know. But, I'm confident in this team. Austin Hayes looks great. Spencer Steer's been doing his thing. Ellie Deli Cruz is playing still well, making a couple errors here and there, but that's part of the learning curve. He is an absolute star. You can't debate me otherwise. We'll see where it takes us there. But, this team, Terry Francona, has some serious, he's stepping up. He's held people accountable. The Candelario release was kind of an eye-opener to me on where this organization wants to be. I'm not fully in yet on Nick Kroll, but it is definitely the right step for this team. We're in a good spot, folks. A lot of baseball left to be played. I think the month of July is going to be crucial. They got to keep winning. They got to keep going. They're 3.5 games back last time I checked from the wild card spot, but still the NL Central is a little bit wide open. So, outside of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and sorry, Rudy, I know you're a Pirates fan, but this team is locked and loaded and ready to go. So we'll see where it takes us. I'm super excited myself. Cincinnati. It's been a while for the Reds, but like I said, 14-7 in the last 21, 6 of their last 7 series they've won. That's a great trend. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball. But we have a great winning record of people outside the NL. We struggle in our own division. So, these next couple of series after Boston are going to be 100% crucial. So, comment in, let Doug and I know what you think. A lot to be said there. But even more news. Cincinnati is a sports town, folks. And we wouldn't be a sports town if we didn't talk about FC Cincinnati. We are 12-3-5. We are 3-0 in the month of June. We finished 3-0. Absolute hot streak. Evander has scored 4 goals in the last 2 matches. That man is on fire. Dinky has 11 goals for the team. Evander now ties him for 11 goals in the team. So, folks, FC Cincinnati has a kind of a Batman-Robin duo. They play again this Saturday at home. They're going to be honoring our veterans. They're going to be honoring our people that are serving now. I, as a veteran, appreciate that. So they're going to be honoring past, present, and future. When it comes to service, they're going to have a little bit of fireworks afterwards. It is July 5th, July 4th weekend. So, Cincinnati's definitely going to be rocking there. Absolutely playing just fantastic soccer, football, Americano, as Doug would say when we had him on our program. Regularly, he is producing. He does our graphics. He's still very much behind the scenes, pulling things for us and the Red Hot Reds podcast. So we want to, put appreciation where appreciation is due. Let's see who they're playing Saturday. I had a little bit of a brain dump, but, let's figure out together. I know it's home. It's going to be big. We know we're currently sitting in second place in the East, playing just phenomenal. Like I said, it's going to be something to watch. We play Chicago, so that'll be on MLS Season Pass Chicago, July 5th at home in Cincinnati. I'm sure it'll be rocking. It's going to be it's going to be wild. I think it's going to be a great finish. This team has gelled together really nicely. Doug and I have been talking about that all year long. And, it's been fun. This team has been fun. This team has been fun to see when, we let some stars go. We got some cash considerations in the off season, and it just, it's really come together for this team big time. So, it's going to be super fun, guys. We are also highlighting, like I said, Bowling Green. Bowling Green, I'm doing my Around the League for MAC. Right now, we always start with the MAC conference, and we work our way around to the Big Ten. We'll talk about Ohio State later. We'll talk about Cincinnati, UC, in the Big 12. That's going to be fun. But let's dive in here. Bowling Green. Eddie George, first-year head coach, legendary Eddie George, 2-time Heisman winner. We know what he means to the state of Ohio. We know what he means in the pros. The man is an absolute legend, and he's bringing that grit. He's bringing everything to the table for Bowling Green first year. They finished 7-6 last year, 6-2 record in the MAC. They have the 7th best recruiting in the conference. They had 23 commits this season, 25 in the portal. And, for a MAC team, that's a huge number. And, I'm willing to go to bat that is 100% on, Eddie George being in town, him absolutely putting it together. And, these guys are ready. I think that they're picked to finish 5th or 6th, preseason polls. But under Eddie George, I'm going they're going to finish 3rd. I think they're going to turn a lot of heads. I think they're going to do really well this year. And I think these guys are going to be all in for this coach, and they're going to want to make noise. So, let's dive in. Let's look a little bit of their off-season out of MAC schedule, because I think the MAC kind of stacked themselves up when it came to non-conference. So, schedule. Anybody going to play 2026 and use Bowling Green as a springboard? They play right here. They play UC, Cincinnati, September 6th. They'll open up the season against Lafayette, August 28th. I think game 1 is an absolute win. Game 2 against Cincinnati. This is going to be interesting for me. I'm going to say if Bowling Green's going to make a statement, they're going to beat Cincinnati and go 2-0. I got them beating Liberty for their 3-0 start. Louisville, we got week 4. I think they dropped the game to Louisville. Bowling Green versus OU. I got OU for the upset on September 27th. Toledo, they were a pretty decent team last season, but I'm going to give it to Toledo. So give them 3-2. Central Michigan, I'm going to get on October 18th. I'm going to give Bowling Green the win there. Bowling Green versus Kent State. I'm going to give Kent State the win. Buffalo versus Bowling Green. This is a tough one for me. I'm going to say they escape. Bowling Green gets the win. Eastern Michigan, we hate Michigan regardless of what team, what conference. I'm going to say Bowling Green smacks them on November 8th. Akron zips. I have a soft spot for Akron. I think Akron pulls off the upset against Bowling Green. And UMass, I think Bowling Green finishes it on my birthday weekend, November 25th, for the win. So, let me know what you guys think. My prediction definitely is that Bowling Green finishes strong. And it's going to be a fun season. So let's tally it up here live. I got them 1, 2, 3. Three and 1, 3 and 2, 4 and 2, 4 and 3, 5 and 3, 5 and 4, 6 and 4, 6 and 5, 7 and 5. So I got them going 7 and 5, folks. That's my prediction. As the season gets closer, we'll talk about it. We definitely traction. We love the hashtag Maction. We get up Saturday morning. We post all the MAC games. It's always fun. We'll continue to track it as it goes on. But Eddie George, this is going to be a fun year, guys. I think the MAC is going to get some love, definitely some due. And, we'll see where it takes us. But, again, I talk a lot. I talk pretty fast when I'm by myself. You don't have the back and forth. Comment section's a little bare tonight, but I usually go on Thursday nights. The last couple of weeks, we let the Red Hot Reds have Monday night. Last night when I was about to rare, Tuesdays are kind of a weird zone for us, but we'll definitely see what's going on here. So definitely comment in. Let me know what you think. Bowling Green's going to be fun. And, where would we be without some NBA news? The draft happened. We covered that. And, free agency has been going on the last about 24 plus hours. Cavs did not retain Ty Jerome. That's a little bit of a head scratcher for me. The guy, we tweeted out last night, about 15 to 20 plus point games, 30 plus point games. One of those being a playoff game against Miami when a team was riddled with injuries, when Darius Garland went down with the toe. people say he was a defensive liability. I disagree. You know, I saw a lot of steals. I saw a lot of opportunities. I saw a lot of chemistry. And this is disappointing. I think this is going to come back and haunt us in the long run. Electing to go with Sam Merrill, who to me is kind of a one-trick pony, a spot-up shooter. You know, somebody that can change the pace of a game. But, you know, when the lights got big, he didn't produce much either. We know Ty Jerome fizzled out. And, you know, when we got to the series against Indiana, he had a bad couple games, bad performances, was actually benched in the last game for very low minutes. But, you know, when somebody's not flowing as a head coach, you have to make those decisions. And, you know, it's really tough because I saw a lot of growth here. I saw maybe a second year in the system, especially under Kenny Atkinson, that he was going to shine and really find his footing. You know, getting to play with Max Strus, getting to play with guys like Darius Garland. You know, really feeding off Mitchell. He played well with our bigs. He had some great chemistry with Jared Allen. Their passes together, their pick and roll, the screens, everything really flowed well. And, you know, that's offensively, I think we're losing something. You know, Sam Merrill isn't a guy that's going to create his own offense, take it to the rim, you know, challenges bigs underneath. Defensively, it's not, you know, he's kind of a liability. And he comes off the bench and he goes cold. It's a one-trick pony. So, you know, we're definitely, you know, 4 years, $38 million is the max for his contract. I think we're overpaying. I think we could have really used it to retain Ty Jerome, who's making less money than what Sam Merrill is making. So that, you know, I don't know. In Kenny Atkinson, we trust. We've said that many times. Free agency isn't over. We did sign former Cleveland Cavaliers big man Larry Nance is coming back for a second time around. That to me, that fills a huge bench role. You know, outside of Jared Allen, outside of Evan Mobley, somebody who can play the bigs, somebody who can also play a little bit on the wings. You know, he can defend. He can play decent defense on the outside. He can challenge somebody. He has a great IQ for pick and roll. He has a great IQ for, you know, fast-paced points coming down, breakaway points. We saw it on his first stint. You know, we know he can hoop. We know he can slam dunk. We know he can make that, you know, presence felt. I think in the playoffs, something the Cavs, you know, the last two seasons, in everybody's opinion, get a little bit soft. And, you know, you look at the Knicks, they're reloading. You look at the Boston, kind of has a lot going on, but they're a well-coached and well-structured organization. So I feel like whoever is carrying the ball in Boston is still going to be very, very effective. Indiana is going to come back with more confidence than ever, you know, pushing the finals to Game 7. Even though they didn't get the victory, that's a lot to hang your hat on. So Indiana is going to come out, in my opinion, very, very structured. The Bucks, Milwaukee is in kind of a free-for-all. You know, they released Damian Lillard. Giannis isn't happy. You know, he's gone to social media and kind of, you know, downplayed the organization. Rightfully so, though. So, you know, we'll see where that takes us, folks. This has been kind of wild. So it's definitely been, you know, something to really monitor in the East. You know, I think the East is kind of open. I think Boston, you know, they're structured as a team and all their cap. You know, their run would have been last year had health not fell apart. I think they would have been, you know, prevalence in the East. So, you know, but you know, here on Ohio Sports Talk, it's always fuck Boston. So if I'm going to talk a little bit positive about Boston, it's also fuck Boston because I just can't stand them. But, you know, Larry Nance Jr. coming back in, it brings a little bit of stability. I saw Jordan Clarkson was bought out on his contract. You know, a lot of reports, a lot of mainstream media indicates that he's going to sign with Boston if and when he clears waivers. You know, I hope, you know, if Cleveland, I'm not 100% sure in the NBA how waivers work. You know, if Cleveland had any fucking brain at all, letting Jerome walk bringing in Jordan Clarkson, who averaged between 14 to 16 points per game last year, a guy that's a veteran, been in a lot of big games. Bringing back in Larry Nance, maybe Kobe Altman will make a stand and take a fight to get the band back together for for one of those finals runs when Clarkson was on the team. So, and Larry Nance was a part of it as well. Larry Nance Jr., pardon me, was a part of it as well. So really, come on, Kobe, make this happen. If you bring in this guy, it will subsidize the loss of Ty Jerome. We won't forget about it, but man, it'll be bigger. Clarkson can still defend. He'll be 33 going into next season. Not necessarily on the wrong side. He's been, continuous, stable for whatever team he's been playing for. The man absolutely busts his ass. He plays well defensively. He brings a little bit of size to the position. And with Darius Garland missing 10 games, I think bringing in somebody that's familiar, especially with free agent Larry Nance Jr., coming off the bench, getting that second unit together, what a time this would be to bring him back. He states he wants to be with a contender. Cleveland is a contender. It is something definitely, even if we don't make that many, changes to our core four, Mitchell, Garland when he's healthy, Evan Mobley hasn't hit his full ceiling yet. Year 2 under Kenny Atkinson, that's going to be something to monitor. Jared Allen, we know what he got. We know what he brings to the table. He's a consistent double-double when he's on it. I don't think we're going to see a decline just because he's a little bit older this year. Jared Allen's still going to bring it in the regular season. It's all about that postseason. And if we can get these guys just healthy, man, we bring in a guy with Jordan Clarkson. It gives us, platoon ball, something Kentucky used to call it platoon 1 and platoon 2. I think it gives us that edge. I really do. I wouldn't be as worried about scoring and firepower when guys like, come the starters go cold. You bring in a guy like Clarkson, score some points, can definitely pass the ball, do pick and roll, create his own offense in the corner, come up and pull some shots when Garland is struggling. Man, it's a pipe dream at this point, but, I swear to God, I'll make the video if it happens. Doug and I offline for the last 6 months have been pounding the table for it. I always thought it was somebody that should have never left the organization. I would love to see him back. Definitely comment. Tell us what you think. Get in the comment section. Even after this episode, I'll be monitoring X. We'll be monitoring the Reds game. But this has been some solid stuff here going on, folks. The Browns, a little bit of Browns news. We got that big bill signed. Let's go over the actual numbers here. I know Mike DeWine is using some funds that are going to go to the Cleveland Browns Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so yes, Mike DeWine, okay, $600 million for the new Browns Stadium, gutting out and using some sin taxes for it. So the Cleveland Browns plan a new stadium in suburban Brook Park. Cleared a major hurdle as Monday, like 11:58, right before midnight, when the bill wouldn't have been able to pass in 2025. So hands off to love them or hate them. This is just sports news. We're leaving politics out of it. Mike DeWine gets $600 million cleared for the new Browns Stadium. So congratulations, Cleveland Browns fans. Where's my boys on, the Browns podcast? They do good business. The Bearded Browns, I miss those guys. We got to get those guys involved here sometime. Again, when football season gets closer, might have a Browns player coming on here very shortly. We got some great things behind the scene, folks. Don't be distracted that it's just been me the last couple weeks. We're going to rock and roll it. So, but yeah, $600 million. We're trending in the right direction. So, hats off to the Cleveland Browns. You got Shedeur Sanders now in town. You got a guy that could be a potential franchise if you can just treat him right, get him coached up, get him in the game. I hate talking positive about the Browns. It stings my soul. But, This is big time, folks. This is where it needs to be. So, for the longevity of the franchise, I mean, we're trending in the right direction. They have 2 first-round picks next year. You have $600 million going to the state, new stadium plans. This is where you want to be if you're a Browns fan. You made a good draft. The offensive line looks better. You got a lot of young guys. You drafted a linebacker as well that looks great. And like I said, going in, you could potentially bring Caleb Downs to town with 2 first-round picks. There's a lot of good things coming up for the future if they can play it right. Get the quarterback position locked in, compete with the AFC North, get real. We all hate Pittsburgh, so it's always fuck Pittsburgh and Baltimore. The Cleveland Browns, get it together, $600 million. Mike DeWine, Lieutenant Governor, and somebody that's been on the show twice, Coach Jim Trussell, Lieutenant Governor Jim Trussell. They got it done last night. You guys should be raving. Give them their credits. And, they're both northern guys, especially Coach Jim Trussell from the north. His love for Columbus. He knows his love for Youngstown State. He has a little bit of love for the Cleveland Browns organization. He touched on it when he was on our program. Go check out that interview on YouTube. It's going to be on there forever. What a pleasure. I'm working very hard to bring him back to the program. It's all about scheduling. But $600 million going to the Browns Stadium. Hell of a start. That's been kind of my news and notes here. We're going to have some athletes on next week. Our July 7th episode is going to highlight a young running back from West Claremont. A lot of offers. This guy is trying to go to Ohio State. He's got some other Division I offers. We're going to bring him on. We're going to talk to him. We're going to talk about this upcoming season for West Claremont. It is a high school here in the Cincinnati area. I'm going to be proud to have him on. A hell of a young man. I've known his family personally. I've got to watch this kid grow up. He goes to the same school system as my children. So, that's a big guest we're coming on. I'm going to have a guest on for a little bit of pre-recorded show. Marine that I served with, Michael Lombard, does a lot of athletic things. He highlights PTSD and struggling veterans. And also he runs his own trucking company. He does a big fitness program for them. Hell of a motivational speaker, patriotic as fuck. You guys are going to love him. We're going to get him on. We're going to record a show on Thursday. I'm going to go Thursday night live as well. So it's going to be a super busy man for one of the busiest men in the business. I'm back, folks. I'm rested. I'm healthy. We're going to get these, cancer side effects out of my system. My immune system is back. I'm feeling better than ever. Me, when I'm energetic, I'm on it. And, it's been my pleasure for the last year and some change doing Ohio Sports Talk. It's not going to change. The guests are going to get bigger. We're going to restructure. And, this is my dome. This is my solitude. I love coming in here and talking to you folks, whether there's 36 folks live tonight or up to 1,000, which we've had many, many times before. Like I said, Tuesday night, we kind of threw you a curveball. But, get in the comment section. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on X. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, especially on YouTube. We're a little bit over 600 subscribers. We would love to see that number go up. It costs nothing but a click of a button to subscribe. We love it. Maybe I'll get some hats on there. We used to have koozies over in the TikTok shop. That's something, I'm going to restructure and bring back. We're going to have a couple of contests coming up this summer, especially, with football is 9 Saturdays away for college. Things are booming. Business is going to be booming. We highlighted Bowling Green football. Eddie George is going to bring that program. Some really much needed highlighted greatness for the MAC. It's going to be fun. Hashtag Maction. Check it out. But, we've gone 30 minutes tonight. I haven't talked too fast, but I haven't talked too slow. Like I said, it's 1-2. Reds are down right now in a rain delay. We'll update it as we go. Larry Nance Jr. signs to the Cleveland Cavaliers, brings us a big man on the bench. FC Cincinnati finished June 3-0. They are back in action this Saturday at home. We'll be rooting them on. Dinky and Evander, 11 goals apiece. Really leading the charge. We'll see if a third guy can't come in and absolutely dominate. But, big time news all over. We love to interact. This has been the coach, Jordan Maxson, coming at you live, Ohio Sports Talk. I'll be back 8 p.m. Thursday night. I love you guys. We'll talk to you later. God bless. Good night.